A lot to be proud of, and it all happened so fast, like it's hard to appreciate in the moment.
That is Iowa native and Indiana Fever star, and now Time's 2024 Athlete of the Year, Caitlyn Clark, looking back at a whirlwind year.
The internet was just broken by Caitlyn Clark, but not for the reason you may expect. Some WNBA players were envious of this 22-year-old phenomenon who astonished the basketball world by sweeping up trophies like SWEEPS. The bees that are being dramatic about Caitlyn Clark are what I perceive. All I see is that. Women's basketball is treated like a locker room for junior high school girls, despite their prolonged efforts to gain respect for the sport. The shenanigans of junior high school girls on the court. Clark's trophy case is overflowing with accolades, including Forbes' 100 Most Powerful Women and Time's Athlete of the Year. While many are applauding, some are making fun of them. The person at the front of the jealousy parade will astound you with what they're doing. Good luck naming another athlete who altered the trajectory of their entire team sport within 5 months on the job. Time magazine says, acknowledging Clark's enormous influence on basketball. Caitlyn Clark recently swept the basketball world. She gathered up accolades as if they were becoming obsolete. Athlete of the Year in the Times. Verify. The 100 Most Influential Women by Forbes. You wager. Forbes 30 under 30? Naturally. She is also a nominee for BBC Sports Person of the Year, which is the cherry on top. But why is a 22-year-old rookie receiving so much attention? Ari, I'd want to begin with Time magazine. The news that Caitlyn Clark has been named Time magazine's Athlete of the Year is perhaps the least shocking announcement of the year, in my opinion. Imagine this. The entire world looks on as a young woman enters the court. For you, that's Caitlyn Clark. She's doing more than just shattering records. She is breaking them. To be precise, 62 in the WNBA. These are not only good figures, they are renowned. Only one person is capable of what Caitlyn Clark accomplished. Bring on all those purists of basketball. No one compares to her. We may argue about culture, but as for what she did on the court, I don't know if you saw Indiana Fever yesterday, but they posted this video of Caitlyn with only her praise in the caption. Additionally, reading it took 5 minutes. And I asked, girl, are you even interested in chilling her zero isn't zero? Listen, this is probably the simplest choice to make, in my opinion. However, Clark's influence extends beyond the numbers. She is altering the game in unexpected ways. When did people say that women's basketball lacked excitement? Clark forced them to retract their statements. Because of her unique playing style, every game is a must-watch on television. According to her, I've been successful in converting a lot of individuals who had never watched women's sports, much less women's basketball, into supporters. We've never seen someone do this before, attract a new audience, and be able to firmly link their success to actual data and statistics, haven't we? For example, 19 million people watched the national championship. What distinguishes Clark from other rookies? Not only is she skilled, but she also has the capacity to improve everyone around her. And people are curious about that. What will happen to this basketball star next? Do you recall when WNBA games had trouble selling out? Those times are over. The WNBA struggled for years with viewership and attendance. People had doubts. Can a single player actually make a difference, they would ask? Well, Clark simply said yes in response to that query. She made a new floor, but we talk about ceilings a lot. Now that we're looking back, the expectations are much higher, even if it doesn't reach the numbers it did this season. In general, the interest rate is significantly higher. It's a far larger investment. Let's examine the figures. Attendance has increased dramatically since Clark entered the league. Sales of products are booming and TV ratings are skyrocketing, and Clark isn't the only one. Other athletes and teams are benefiting from her fame as well. All of a sudden, everyone wants to be involved in the WNBA, more players, more supporters, and more media attention. Expert analysis indicates that Clark is in charge of a staggering 26.5% WNBA earnings. Not only is that impressive, it is revolutionary. Additionally, she is getting a ton of support. Everyone is paying attention to what Clark is doing for the sport, including competitors and teammates. However, not everyone is applauding. The heat of Clark's attention and their responses is hitting certain people. Well, that's a different matter entirely. We are attracting an increasing number of supporters to this competition. Those who might not have previously watched the WNBA, and at times like that, it kind of blows you away. You would think that Caitlyn Clark would be cut off from her peers because she is a superstar. Rather, it has triggered a movement. Everyone is supporting her, including former opponents and teammates. What is causing the WNBA to experience a boom in unity? First, let's talk about Clark's teammates from the Indiana Fever. They're doing more than just helping her. They are honoring her. Lexi Hull was so excited about Clark's influence on the game that she couldn't restrain it. Another emerging star, Aaliyah Boston, has been by Clark's side the entire time, supporting her. Temi Fagbenley, a seasoned player, has only expressed love for the budding sensation. They are all expressing their admiration for Caitlyn's most recent achievements. However, the assistance doesn't end at team limits. Through all of this accomplishment, Clark's best friend, Kate Martin, has been her pillar of support. Cameron Brink and Sabrina Ionescu, close friends, have expressed their respect for Clark's accomplishments in public. NBA player Tyrese Halliburton's girlfriend Jade Jones and Gabby Marshall have even urged her to think about modeling. The unexpected source of the support was possibly the most unexpected. Angel Reese's previous coach, Kim Mulkey, set aside any animosity to give Clark high marks. It demonstrates Clark's capacity to bring the basketball community together. I have firsthand knowledge of it. She is a generational talent, having played in the playoffs for 2 consecutive years. When you watch her play, you can't keep your eyes off of this young woman. And I'm confident that Iowa is proud of her, as they rightfully should be. And I exclaimed, thank God I don't have to see you anymore when we played her in the playoffs this year. And I couldn't really give a young woman a higher praise than that. There is more to this outpouring of love than merely Clark's prowess on the court. It has to do with what she stands for in women's basketball. Her peers and teammates understand that her accomplishments are elevating the sport as a whole. They witness the crowded arenas, the soaring TV ratings, and the spike in sales of products. Winning games isn't all that Clark is doing. She's transforming the game's landscape and gaining hearts. The WNBA's culture is changing as a result of the unity surrounding Clark. Players are celebrating each other's accomplishments in a more encouraging setting. The popularity of the league and the chances for women in sports may be impacted for some time by this change. From the attendance figures to the number of people who genuinely want to wear a WNBA player's jersey, purchase their merchandise, or have their shoe, the stadiums have seen a large number of people. I believe that the fact that it has changed so quickly shows everyone that there are opportunities out there. Not everyone is partaking in the joy, though, as is the case with every ascent to fame. Some WNBA segments are throwing shadows while Clark is enjoying the warmth of broad support. Who is feeling left out of the spotlight by Clark's attention? To regain some of that brilliance, how far will they go? Please remember to like, subscribe, and enable all notifications if you have watched this far and found the video entertaining. We acknowledge that watching this video requires some of your time, and we are grateful for that. Let's get back to the action. When you can't even take it seriously enough to not behave like a junior high queen on the court, I know you're serious about sports. It's foolish. That is really stupid. Simply put, it appears to be a soap opera. Success in professional sports frequently fosters animosity. Many players and fans are applauding Caitlyn Clark's quick ascent, but other WNBA veterans aren't joining in. Let's examine the surprising pushback that is creating a lot of controversy. Do you recall the love we just discussed? As it happens, not everyone is feeling extremely happy. You won't believe the extent to which some well-known WNBA players will go to regain their prominence. First up is A'ja Wilson. Although she is a well-known celebrity in her own right, many people were taken aback by her remarks in Time magazine. Wilson stated, "It doesn't matter what we all do as black women, we're still going to be swept under the rug. Her name is A'ja Wilson. Because of this, I find it infuriating when individuals claim that it has nothing to do with race. There's more, though. According to people close to Wilson, she was promised more money than Clark when the rival league approached her about joining, but she declined. The problem is that no one even questioned her about it. Less than 24 hours following Clark's refusal to join, she made sure to divulge that information. Talk about attempting to outdo someone. The delusions queen is A'ja Wilson. She is unquestionably the delusion queen. Wilson isn't alone, though, in feeling the heat. Another emerging star who isn't apparently happy to let Clark get all the spotlight is Angel Reese. According to rumors, Reese's virtual speaking fee unexpectedly equaled Clark's alleged $100,000 price tag. Is it a coincidence? We don't believe so. It's similar to watching a high-stakes game where I can do anything you can. Yes, I am in part responsible for the reason we watch women's basketball, not just one individual. I want you to understand that. You have to wonder how Clark is coping with the criticism and pressure given all of this drama. In addition to carrying the league's burden, she is currently receiving a lot of negative attention from adults posing as high school students. However, judging from her performance on the court, Clark is not letting the critics affect her. As if things couldn't get any hotter, Cheryl Swoops shows up. With a contentious response to Clark's Time Athlete of the Year honor, the WNBA legend chose to enter the fray. Swoops openly questioned the award's criteria, essentially asking, what's the big deal that's a surefire way to get reprimanded? How do you feel about Caitlyn Clark's Time Magazine Athlete of the Year award, Cheryl? I'm not surprised, I suppose. I would like to know who the other contenders were. It's similar to witnessing a real-life sporting event play out. Clark, on the one hand, is breaking records and revolutionizing the game. For want of a better description, WNBA divas are feeling threatened and are doing everything from public put-downs to matching costs. Basketball fans can't turn away from this titanic battle. Add Asia Wilson. It was only basketball. That's what I'm saying then. Was it only the on-court performance or what? It's worldwide. It's crucial. It's everything, in my opinion. Yes, it's crucial. Here's the problem, though. Clark's attention is still laser-focused on the game in spite of all the drama, jealousy, and backhanded remarks. She's not getting sucked into the shenanigans off the court. She's letting her game do the talking instead. And wow, does it say a lot. One thing is certain as we begin the next phase of this developing narrative. Caitlyn Clark is unlike anything the WNBA has ever seen. She's doing more than merely altering the rules of the game. She is changing the dynamic of the entire league, and her fellow players are all on board, whether they like it or not. I think I've only touched the surface. I want to keep going to the gym and working on it every day because I feel like there are so many things I want to get better at. Caitlyn Clark is at the core of the WNBA's pivotal moment. However, most people are unaware of this. Clark's jump shot and record-breaking achievements aren't the only things that demonstrate her genuine strength. Beyond the basketball floor, it's creating waves in something considerably more innovative. For many years to come, Clark's influence on women's basketball will revolutionize the game. She's doing more than just earning points. She is completely changing the sports landscape. Here's the problem, though. How can she strike a balance between her own fame and the league's and her team's expansion? Moreover, Caitlyn once again made a point of stating, look, I know that my star power has come with a lot of benefits in such a short amount of time, especially during her rookie season. Nevertheless, I also don't want to downplay the amount of effort that went into getting me in the league to this stage. And I'm thrilled to be a member of the team that will support this league's growth and advancement. Clark has a strategy, and it's all about encouraging people. The game of women's sports marketing is evolving significantly due to this emphasis on elevating others, and Clark is at the forefront of this change. Being listed as one of the 100 most powerful women in the world and being included in Forbes 30 Under 30 list are more than just personal accomplishments for her. It's a win for all female athletes. The first female basketball player to appear on the esteemed Forbes list is Clark. In terms of drawing in sponsorships and funding for women's sports generally, that is enormous. What will happen to Clark in the WNBA next? The 2025 season is generating a great deal of interest. Make a note of May 17th, 2025 on your calendars. The season opener between Angel Reese's Chicago Sky and Clark's Indiana Fever will take place at that time. With all eyes on Clark as she continues to push the boundaries of women's basketball, it is expected to be a sellout. What a fantastic time for our game and its players on a worldwide basis. As if the fans are truly amazing. Similar things happen when we travel, such as the large number of persons wearing Fever gear. It's having a significant impact on clubs around our league, which is fantastic. Furthermore, I really believe that we are only beginning to explore this. However, Clark has a bigger picture in mind than a single season or even her own career. In her own words, she is thinking big, really large. For my part, I'm only beginning to explore my potential and ideally how I may influence others and alter the world. Winning games and setting records aren't the only goals here. The goal is to make women's basketball as popular and marketable as the NBA in the future. There is no doubt about that when we look to the future. It's not just the game that Caitlyn Clark is altering. She is completely reinventing the women's sports playbook. The true triumph is a future in which every young athlete can have lofty aspirations. Additionally, Clark and the league she has helped to alter are the center of attention as the new WNBA season draws near. In addition to breaking numerous records during her debut season and while attending college, she has achieved a great deal with the Indiana Fever. They broke the single-team WNBA home attendance record. Really, I think the game between the Mystics and the Fever was the best.